What's up everybody, it's Priyon Joni. So over here I have the entry-level DJ controller, the DDJ-400, which is native to Rekordbox. One of the favorite things that people love on this controller is the ability to control the cut lag distance of the crossfader. When your crossfader is set for scratching, which means the crossfader curve is very, very sharp, the cut lag distance is basically the distance between the off position and the on position. Sometimes some people find this to be too far and they want it to be closer, or sometimes people find it to be too close and they want the on position to be farther. And the way to do that is to actually just go into Rekordbox settings. You go to the controller tab, go to mixer, and down here where it says crossfader, you can control where the cut lag distance is. I believe the default is 1 millimeter, and you can bring it all the way down to 0.3. So if I bring it to 0.3, the cut lag is this close. And if I want it to be farther, I could bring it all the way to 5.5 millimeters. And that's pretty far. Generally, most folks like it really close. So I'm going to bring this back down to 0.3. And now my crabs will sound smoother. And that's one of the features on the DDJ-400 that people wish they could have on their DDJ-SB3 or when they're using Serato on the brand new DDJ-FLX6. But in this video, I'm here to tell you, you can. In fact, you've had the capability of controlling the cut lag distance on your DDJ-SB3 this whole time. In this video, I'm going to show you how, but first, a message from our sponsor, Direct Music Service. DMS is an online database for working DJs and mix artists. It's the one-stop shop where you can get your music from for your gigs. It's a searchable, organized database with thousands of edits, remixes, and different versions of your favorite tracks from many different genres. You can now save some money and get a discount using one of these two coupon codes. Use the code PJMonthly and get 30% off your first month off any monthly subscription. Use the coupon code PJYearly and get 10% off your entire first year of any yearly subscription. Go to directmusicservice.com today to sign up. All right, so this is my silver DDJ-SB3, and this is actually my third one. I've had an SB3 since March of 2018, which was just a couple weeks or a month after it first launched. And this whole time, I've been under the impression that you cannot adjust the cut lag distance of the crossfader. But recently, I discovered that I was wrong. And I know there's a lot of DJ product reviewers that have mentioned the cut lag distance on this product and some of the other entry-level controllers that they wish it had a cut lag distance adjustment for when they're using it with Serato. Well, I'm going to show you how it's done. And it's not like how it was done on the DDJ-400 where it's just an adjustment inside the settings of the DJ software, Rekordbox. And it's not something you can control in the settings utility application. The way to do it on the SB3 is to power the SB3 on by going into what's called utilities mode. If you want to follow along how to do the utilities mode, it is actually on page 18 of the DDJ-SB3 product manual. So the way to power it on in utilities mode is before you plug the USB, because it's USB powered, you hold shift and the pause play button on the left side, and you plug the USB, and now it's powered on with a couple lights on. The way this works is you can adjust the cut lag distance by rotating the browse knob. If you rotate it forward, it increases the cut lag. You rotate it backwards, and it decreases the cut lag distance. Now, if you notice, every time I go past both LEDs, a performance pad will light up. That means when I get up to 10, one of these will light up. Each performance pad lit up represents a millimeter. So if you have 2 performance pads lit up, that's 2 millimeters. There's a total of 10 LEDs on the left and the right side. So these are in increments of 1/10 of a decimal place. So if you want to take the cut lag distance all the way down, just rotate it counterclockwise and bring it all the way till the LEDs are off. And now your cut lag distance will be really close. So now let's restart the SB3. So I loaded my scratch sample, and let's check out how much closer the cut lag distance is. So that feels closer than the default of 1.0. So let's restart this back into utilities mode. And let's just make sure that the cut lag distance is changing, because being close, it's hard to tell if it's really working. Let's give it an extreme increase in cut lag length. So let's bring this all the way up to 5.2 millimeters. Okay. Oh, wow, look at that. It hasn't even started yet. I'm already past the first line. And it starts like halfway to the next line between the first and second line. So it's between the first and second line, just halfway. So yeah, that's how you control the cut lag distance of your DDJ-SB3. You have to go into the utilities mode. So now I'm going to go back to the utilities mode, and I'm going to bring the crossfader back to the lowest setting, which I'm going to keep. Now the utilities mode isn't just for controlling your cut lag distance. You can do a couple other things. You can actually disable what's called the demo mode. If you've ever left your SB3 not being used, but it being turned on, it actually goes into a sort of screensaver mode where you see it lighting up and just doing a little animation with the lights. Well, you can actually turn that off. And to turn that off, all you have to do is toggle the hotkey performance mode button, toggle that off. And if you want to toggle it back on, you just turn it back on. Another thing you can do is you can actually adjust the backspin rotation speed. So what that means is changing the backspin length. This unit can perform a backspin longer than the actual jog dial rotation amount when the backspin operation of the jog dial is performed. The length of the backspin can be selected from one of 3 types: short, normal, and long. The control for this is actually pads 5, 6, and 7. Right now, it's lit up on pad number 6, which is the default, which is normal. If you want your backspin length to be short, toggle pad number 5. If you want it to be long, toggle pad number 7. I'm going to leave it at long and see if I'll enjoy that. Another thing you can control is your fader start settings, and it's actually controlled by the top row of performance pads on the left deck. So what this means is the fader start function settings can be changed. By default, the fader start mode functions without the sync mode set. Pad 1 button lit is fader start with the sync mode set. The sync function is activated simultaneously when the fader starts. So pad 2, the button is lit. Fader start with the sync mode set. The sync function is not activated when the fader starts. Pad 3 button lit. Fader start function is disabled. I think number 2 was at default. It doesn't say in the manual which one was the default setting, but I'm just going to leave it to where it was. So yeah, this is how you control all these parameters, including your cut lag distance for your crossfader, with your Pioneer DJ entry-level controller for Serato DJ. Now let's see what we can do with the utilities mode with the brand new DDJ-FLX6. All right, so on the DDJ-FLX6, if you're using a record box, to control the cut lag distance, it's in the record box settings, just like with the DDJ-400. But if you're using Serato, we're going to have to access the utilities mode once again. So hold Shift, hold play, and plug it in. And now you're going to have this blinking light over here and just a couple seemingly random performance pads and performance mode buttons lit up. And if you want to follow along with the Flex 6's instruction manual, it's on page 104. So in the utilities mode of the Flex 6, there are actually more parameters you can control compared to the SB3. But first, we're going to find out how to do the cut lag distance. So once again, it is controlled by the rotary encoder. Your first 5 increments are on channel 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the LEDs. And then when you get to 10, you'll notice on channel 2, 1 blinking light will happen. And then when you cycle through another 10, 2 lights light up on channel 2. So your first 5 is on channel 4, your next 5 is on channel 3, and when you do an entire cycle, each increment of 10 is actually represented by how many lights light up on channel 2. So right now, there's 2 lights lit up there, and there's 2 lights lit up here, so I'm at the 20-second setting. And I could take it all the way up to 53. 5 lights here, 3 there. Now this setting right here, this setting 53, is going to give us a cut lag distance that's really, really far. So I really want one that's a lot closer. So I'm going to bring this counterclockwise all the way down till only 1 light is blinking here and no lights are blinking on channel 2. So now let's try this out by unplugging the USB plug and putting it back in. And now I'm going to try out this cut lag distance. I'm like barely just moving it, and it's on. So yeah, now my cut lag distance is a lot tighter. So what are the other settings we can control with the utility settings? Well, let's restart the Flex 6 in utilities mode. So one of the things you can change with the Flex 6 is you can put it in what's called MIDI controller mode. So by default, the MIDI controller mode is automatic. That means that when you're using Serato DJ or Rekordbox, the controller automatically maps natively to the software. But when you toggle the mode on and you're connected to Serato or Rekordbox, the Flex 6 will only act as a general MIDI controller. It won't activate its native mapping for that DJ software. The toggle for MIDI controller mode is actually the beat jump button, and as you can see here, it's not lit. But when you turn it on and it lights up, you see these 4 blinking lights. You have to wait for those blinking lights to stop in order for the mode to be completely changed over. It takes roughly maybe 20 seconds for it to complete the cycle. Now it's on. Now if I want to turn it off, press beat jump again, and it's going to take another 20 or so seconds for the whole cycle to go back into automatic mode. Just like on the DDJ-SB3, you can also control the backspin length, and that's with the first 3 pad buttons on the right deck. The default is number 2. And if you notice, whenever I'm changing a different setting, it has to go through this cycle. While these buttons are blinking, you actually can't change any other setting until this process is complete. Here's another really, really neat setting. The pad effects button on the left deck actually toggles the microphone signal to be on or off on the booth output. This is actually a feature that you would only typically see in professional level gear, but it's here on the Flex 6. And what it does is that it cuts the signal of the microphone going into the booth output, and it just allows the microphone to go into the master output. What this does is that it helps reduce any possible feedback that's caused by the monitors being so close, giving the microphone more room to increase in volume with a reduced risk of hearing that squealy feedback sound by not letting it feed to the monitors that are pointed towards you. Now, the last thing you can do on the utilities mode is you can actually control how long the demo mode kicks in. Once again, just like on the SB3, the demo mode is when you leave your Flex 6 plugged in, the lights go into a sort of screensaver animation while you wait until you come back to the controller. The way to control that is actually these first 4 performance pads, and the default is actually this 4th button here. Each performance pad actually represents a time duration of how long you have to leave the controller for until the demo mode kicks in. Number 1 is actually keep the demo mode off. On pad 2, it's wait 1 minute before demo mode. Pad 3, it's wait 5 minutes before demo mode. And pad 4 is the default, which is wait 10 minutes before demo mode kicks in. So yeah, I hope this was all useful to you folks who always wanted to control the cut lag distance with your Pioneer DJ entry-level controller, or control any of these other parameters, but thought that you could never do it when you're using Serato DJ. All we had to do was power up our controller in utilities mode to access these settings. If you got any questions, comments, or anything to add about the utilities mode in the entry-level controllers by Pioneer DJ, please leave them in the comment section below. Would love to hear your thoughts, answer any questions, or learn anything new that I didn't cover in this video today. I'm going to leave product links to all 3 entry-level controllers that I talked about in this video down in the pinned comment below. If you're ready to pick any of these up today, use the links from Zounds. They have one of the easiest to qualify for payment plans that you can find online. Check it out at Zounds. If you like this video, please smash that like button, and if it's your first time here and you found this video useful, please click that subscribe button, and don't forget to click that little bell icon so you get a notification the next time I upload a video. Don't forget to add me on Instagram, where I sometimes share content that I don't normally cover here on YouTube, or I share sneak peeks of my upcoming videos. Really appreciate you for watching. Take care and stay healthy.